Ever feel like getting rich is just a game of chance? Something reserved for a lucky few? Well, according to philosopher and investor Naval Ravikant, it's not about luck at all. It's actually a skill you can learn. So let's break down his core principles for building not just wealth, but a richer life, all in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, so let me ask you something, and be honest. Right now, are you just trading your time for money? Think about it. If you stopped working tomorrow, would your income just stop? For most of us, the answer is a big yes. And that, right there, is the trap that prevents us from building real wealth.
You see, it is absolutely essential to get this difference. Money? That's just what you get for renting out your hours. But wealth? Oh, wealth is a whole different beast. It's the collection of assets that are out there working for you, around the clock. It's the business, the investment, the piece of software that's earning money while you're sleeping or on vacation or doing whatever you want. That's the goal.
All right, so first things first, we have to tear down this core illusion that we're all taught. Money is not the same thing as wealth. It's just a tool, and honestly, chasing it can be a huge distraction from the real prize. One of the biggest roadblocks on this path is what Naval calls the status game. We're basically programmed to chase things that make us look rich. The fancy car, the brand new iPhone. But these things are liabilities, not assets. They keep you stuck on that treadmill, trading your precious time for money, just to pay for the illusion of wealth. Real wealth, that's built quietly in the background.
So if chasing status is the wrong game to be playing, what's the right one? Well, it all starts by building your foundation on something that only you have, your own unique skill. This is what he calls specific knowledge. Now, this isn't about jumping on some hot new trend, like learning to code just because everyone says you should. No, this is about finding that unique spot where your genuine curiosity and your natural talents overlap. It's the thing that feels like play to you, but looks like incredibly hard work to everybody else. And this quote right here, it just nails the power of focus. Society can train thousands of people for the exact same job, making them totally replaceable. But it can't replicate your unique obsession, the one you've honed for years. That's where your true, irreplaceable value really comes from.
So, how do you find this specific knowledge? It's time for some self-reflection. Start by asking yourself these questions. What did you just do effortlessly as a kid? What feels like fun to you, but seems like a total chore to other people? And think about your unique skill combinations. Maybe you're great at explaining complicated stuff, and you have a real talent for making videos. The answers to these questions point right to your foundation.
Okay, once you've figured out your specific knowledge, the answer isn't just to work harder. That's the old way. The real key is to multiply your efforts using something called leverage.
Leverage is the thing that finally shatters the link between your time and your income. Think about it. A teacher and a YouTuber could both spend hours preparing a lesson. The teacher, she reaches maybe 30 students in her class, but the YouTuber, they can reach millions. That huge, massive difference in output, that's leverage in action. And the potential here is just staggering. With the right leverage, one single hour of your effort, one video, one piece of software, it can deliver 10,000 times the result. This is how modern wealth is really built.
So traditionally, leverage meant labor, managing people, which is really hard to scale. Then came capital, using money to make more money, which is great, but you kind of need money to get started. But today, the most powerful forms of leverage, by far, are code and media. These are the absolute game changers of our time.
The real magic of code and media is that they're permissionless. You don't need a boss's approval to write a blog post or start a podcast or build a cool app. You can create something just one time and then sell it infinitely with almost zero cost to make another copy. This is the great equalizer in today's world. But listen, having the right tools isn't enough. You also have to have the right mindset to actually see it through. And that means you have to be willing to play the long game. See, most of us are trained for salary-based thinking. It's a safe, linear path that's focused on the next paycheck. But real wealth is built with equity-based thinking. You stop worrying about your salary and you start focusing on the value of the asset you're building. It means embracing risk and accountability because you actually own a piece of the final outcome. And this brings us to what might be one of the most powerful forces in the entire universe: compound interest. All the big, meaningful wins in life, whether we're talking about wealth, relationships, or knowledge, they all come from this. It's not about quick flips. It's about patient,
consistent effort that just snowballs over time. If you want to see the pure magic of compounding, just look at Warren Buffett. An incredible 99% of his net worth was earned after his 50th birthday. It wasn't one single genius move. It was decades of consistency that created this exponential explosion of wealth. The real tragedy is that most people give up right before that curve starts to go vertical.
So, you play the long game, you build the wealth. But why? I mean, what's the ultimate goal here? Naval argues that the whole point of wealth isn't the money itself. It's the freedom it buys you to pursue the real prize, happiness. And, just like wealth, he says, happiness is a skill you can learn.
We're all taught to see happiness as some external goal. Oh, if I just get that promotion, then I'll finally be happy. But true happiness is an internal skill. It's not about adding something new, it's about removing the feeling that something is missing from your life. And it's something you can practice and get better at every single day. Here's a really simple but incredibly profound framework for finding that inner peace. In any situation you face, you only have 3 real choices: change it, accept it, or leave it. All of our suffering comes from getting stuck in the middle, when we refuse to change it, refuse to accept it, and refuse to leave it. And you can start building this skill with some pretty simple habits. Your mind and your body are completely linked, so if you stabilize your physical inputs like sleep, diet, and exercise, your mental state will often follow. And just as important, curate your social circle. You really will become the average of the people you spend the most time with.
So, let's bring it all together, shall we? Specific knowledge, leverage, compounding. These are all just tools to help you play long-term games. The people who achieve those extraordinary results, they're simply the ones who pick the right game for them, and then they play it for decades. So the final question is, what long-term game are you playing?